Welcome. Congratulations on your purchase of this Emini S&P trading course. Before we get started, there are two things I would like to say to you. Number one, I commend you for having the courage to purchase this course, to learn the truth, learn this trading secret for yourself. Number two, after you've watched all these videos, we would like to ask you in advance, right now, to, if you like what you see and you like what you learn, to give us a review on the internet so that other people can hear from you and they can make a decision based upon what you're telling them. We would really appreciate it. So let's get started. There is a secret, a trading secret about the Emini S&P, which we have up right here, right now. This is the chart. And there's a secret about this, that if you learn this trading secret, you can basically make as much money as you want to, as hard as you want to work at it. I mean, you could work at it for 30 minutes a day, or you could work at it for 8 hours a day. It just depends on how hard you want to work at it, how much trading you want to do. But you have the ability then to virtually make as much money as you want once you learn this trading secret. We are happy to share this secret with you, and you're not going to believe what you're about to learn. It would help if you would forget everything you know and to just pay attention to what I'm going to teach you now. You're seeing the chart here of the E-mini S&P, and I'm in Pacific Standard Time. So this chart is representing Pacific Standard Time. So this is 6 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time, which would be 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is when, you know, the market on the East Coast basically opens, okay? So I've started here on the chart. This is the open of the market for the USA on the chart. 6 o'clock in the morning for me. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what you're going to have to do every day anyway. And by the process of me showing you this, you're going to learn what the trading secret is. So I'm going to kind of kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. What we're going to do here with this chart, and what you're going to do every day, is zoom in to a 1-minute chart so that you can look at it minute for minute. See, I've got 6:05, and then in the middle here would be 6:06, and then 6:07, in the middle here 6:08, and then 6:09, middle here 6:10. You get the idea. It's 1 minute. For every minute I can see each tick. And I've got a candlestick going here. So I can see each tick. And what I want to see is I want to see what time on the clock is the point where it goes its lowest, and what time on the clock is the point where it goes its highest. But also, it could also be, it doesn't have to be there. It can be really close to there. Think of these as signals, okay? And these are giving you signals. The trick is to find the right signals. Which ones are the right ones? Most of them are all false signals, but there are ones that are right ones that will give you a very high degree of accuracy into your trades. So what we're going to do to find these is very simple. We're going to come over here. We're going to see that this came down at 6:04. So what I'm going to do here, and I got a notepad up, I'm going to write that down. I got a reversal at 04. Okay? That represents 4 minutes after the hour. I got a reversal. Okay? Okay then. Now, let's come up here. What time is that? That's 12 minutes. Okay? So I got a reversal at 12 minutes. Let me write that down. So I got a reversal at 4, and I got a reversal at 12. Okay? Now, let's keep scrolling, and we'll go sideways here. So we got a reversal at 12. Now we've got, before it went down here like this, made this big move down, where was the signal at? The signal came at 19. So let's write that down. 19. We got a reversal, basically, at 19. Okay, so in other words, at 19 minutes, it went up, made this move, and then after that, it didn't really mess around much after that. It just went down. Okay, so that's what I want to know. Where was that exact point before it did that? Okay, 19. So we write that down for 19. Okay, now it went back up right here. So before it went back up right here, where was it down here? It was at 24 and 25. All right. So since they're both doing the same exact thing at that exact minute, we need to write both of them down because we're not sure which one it could be. It could be either or. So we don't know. So let's write them both down. 24 and 25. What does that represent? It represents 24 minutes after the hour, 25 minutes after the hour. Okay. Now, let's keep going. This right here is 28 minutes. And then it went down. Right? Let's mark that down. 28 minutes. Okay? Now we've got 28. Okay? Let's go back up here. It didn't really do much up here at all. But where was the signal before it went up here? It's right here. That's at 41. And we also have one right there at 42. Okay? So let's mark that down. 41. And we're also going to mark down 42. Now, one of the reasons why I know it's 42, and we're getting ahead of the instruction here. But later, you're going to find out and you're going to learn that this 12 right here is the same thing as this 42. It's the same trading secret. You're gonna learn that. I'm going to teach it to you in a little while. But what they both represent, this represents 12 minutes after the top of the hour, the 00 mark. This represents 12 minutes after the bottom of the hour, the 30 mark. But I'm going to explain this in detail later. For now, let's continue what we're doing. Okay? So we've got a 42. We also have, if you'll notice here, a 40. Now, since I'm familiar with the trading secret, I know that that's a possible code right there. But what you would notice for this particular day is that it's not doing a big reversal off of it. So you would ignore that one because it's not doing a big reversal. Whenever you take a trade, you want to get the maximum amount of reversal that you could possibly get. And so you're not getting much right there. You just ignore it for the day. But later I'll teach you about that code. Okay? Same thing with this one. This could also be another code, but it's not making much of a reversal off of it. So you'd want to not pay attention to it. Where's the signal here? The signal here is at 52 and possibly 53. So we'll mark that down. 52 and possibly 53 as well. If it is 53, we'll find that out soon enough. Okay. Let's continue on. Just need to adjust this monitor, adjust this a little bit. Okay, now let's continue on. 54 and 55. Okay, we did get a little bit of a signal at 55, and generally this would be the code. Let me go ahead and mark it down, although we would want to keep in mind that it didn't move very much off of that. It only went up a little tiny bit into the 1 minute after that, and then started coming down. So it really didn't make much of a move off of that at all. But since I know what the trading secret is, I know that this is the same as this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to keep it like that, but we're going to continue on now. Now, where was the move before it went down to here? The move before it went down to here was coming in at 58, 59, and 00. So we're going to need to mark all of those down. Okay, 58, 59, and 00. Okay? Now, from knowing the code, I know that this is the same as this. So 28 is the same as 58. They both represent 28 minutes after, that represents 28 minutes after the top of the hour. 58 represents 28 minutes after the bottom of the hour. So they're both the same code. Secret, okay? Now, let's keep going. Down here, where did it make its move before it went up? 4 minutes after the hour. So we're going to need to mark that down. 4 minutes after the hour. Now, do we already have a 4 minutes after the hour? Yes, we do. We have a 4 minutes after the hour. It started right there. So we're going to comma, comma, and then 04. So now we have two 04s. Okay? As soon as we see something like that, we need to go and check and say, okay, I haven't taught you this yet, but a 04 is the same as 34. So we'd want to see, do we have any 34s on here? We see, no, we don't. Okay, so one of the first things we'd like to do then is go back and check. Did it move at 34? And we just didn't mark it down. What is it looking like? There is 34 right there, and it basically did not. It kind of just came down a little tiny bit. You know, right there would be its biggest move. Didn't move very much, and then kept on going. So we really did not get there, but we are looking at two good 04s right now. Okay, so let's keep going on. Okay, so there's our 04. Now we're looking for what's it doing, and what's it doing? It's just it keeps going up. Right? It just keeps going up. So it (17), but we do have a 19. So let's go ahead and mark that down. 19. So we have two 19s now. Okay. Now, what's it over here? 2-3, and then this one is equally low at 2-4 right before it goes. So do we have a 2-3 or a 2-4? We do. We have a 2-4. So let's go ahead and mark that down. Now we've got two 04s, two 19s, and two 24s. Let's go ahead and continue on. Now, at the top here, we've got two highs up here. We've got one at 0.2. We got one at 2.7, and we've got one at 2.9. So let's go in here and take a look. Do we have any at 2.7 or 2.9? No, we do not. We do have one at 2.8. Let's take a look. Would 2.8 qualify to be? And here is 2.8 right here. Generally speaking, that would qualify, but it would be better if it was a 2.7 or a 2.9. So what we need to do is we need to go back an hour. Okay, we're at 7:30. We need to go back to 6:30. 6:30. Do we have a 2.7 or a 2.9 at 6:30? Here's 2.7 and here's 2.9. So they're both really close. It's like it's going in on these three right here. So the point 2.8 is very, very close to the 0.28 here. It's just very, 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 very close. So we're going to go ahead and stick with the 0.28 and see if it doesn't continue on, because it probably will. So we've got 2.28s there. Okay? Now, let's continue. Before it made this move down, where was the signal? It's right here. What is that? That's 3.2. Okay? 3.2. We don't have any 3.2s, so let's go ahead and mark that down. Okay? Now, remember we had those 04s, and the other one would be 34. But we don't have any 34s. Well, here's 34 again, and again, it was no good. It came down, it did reverse, but didn't reverse very much. So basically what it looks like is that 3.4 is not reversing and actually continuing. But 04 is reversing. So that's why we don't have any 3.4s right here. We only have 04s. Okay, so what's the signal before it continues to go down? It went up into 5 and 6. Do we have any 5 and 6s? No, we do not. So let's mark it down. 05 and 06. Okay? And we even have like an 07 that could be considered. Yeah, it could. You could consider that 07 possibly. So let's mark it down. 07. Alright? So, here we go. Keep going. Now, where did it go to before it went back up? Right down to here. And it went into 4.2 and 4.3. Right? It went all the way down. And in what time did it go down into? 4.2 and 4.3. And then it went up. Right? Do we have any 4.2s or 4.3s? Yes, we have a 4.2. Let's mark that down. 4.2. Now we've got two 4.2s. I don't see any 4.3s. It's 1 minute away from the 4.2, so I'm going to assume it's 4.2, which most likely it's right. I'm an expert at reading this, so you can... Once you learn what this trading secret is, it all makes sense to you, and you'll be able to put all the pieces of the puzzle together very easily and know exactly what it's doing. Don't worry, I'm going to teach you everything. Trust me. You are about to learn something that's going to make you a lot of money. And again, I'd like to ask you to give us a good review. $42. Okay, now it came up. It just kept coming up. Where's the top? The top is at 53 and 54. Right? 53, 54 is the top before it drops out. So do we have any 53? Do we have a 57 or a 58? We do. We have a 58. Okay. Oops. 58. Okay. Now, again, I have not taught this to you yet, but this 28 is the same thing as this 58. This represents 28 minutes after the top of the hour, 00 mark. This represents 28 minutes after the bottom of the hour, the 30 mark. So right now, me knowing what the code is, and you not knowing, but me knowing what the code is, I can see this jumps out right here. This is the code today. And most likely this 42 and 12 is also the code. And then 04 is also the code. And the 34 is not. This is, I'll teach this to you later. I would jump way too ahead if I started teaching you that. So let's continue on. Okay, now. You can see it made a good move into the 00 mark right before it went down. So we need to mark that down, and we already do have a 00 mark. So we need to go ahead and mark that down again. Okay? And then it comes down into 03 and then 04 and then reverses. Now we have an 04, but that would not be considered a good reversal off of that. So we don't want to mark that one down. Let's see. Well, I mean, you know, you could make some money there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you can make a little bit of money there. You know, as you can see, it did go down from, you know, down to here, and you could have gotten in. It just depends on where you could have got filled and everything. But you know, most likely you probably would have broke even on that trade. But you know, would have come back down. You would have placed a break-even stop on it once you got in. It would have come back down. You would have hit your break-even stop and broke even on that trade. But it just depends how you want to play it. But that's how I would have played it. If we would have took the entry off the 04 and considered that was the buy entry, and then you take it, you'd have got suckered in, and then would have come back down, broke even. But do we have any signals there? We do have a signal right here at 08, even at 07. Let's see, 5, 6, and 7, and then 08. Do we have any of those? 5, 6, or 7? We do have a 5. Let's mark that down. Do we have any 7s or 08s? We do have a 7. Let's mark that down. How about 8s? We don't have any 08s. Let's just go ahead and mark it down, just in case. I don't think it's going to be the code, but let's see. Just in case. So you always have to do this so you can make sure. Here's 14. So we're going to need to mark down 14 before it moves. Do we have a 14? We do not. Let's mark it down. Okay. And then it reverses off of the 16, but then goes, before it makes a bigger move, it goes up into the 18 and 19. Do we have any 18s or 19s? Yes, we do. We have 2 19s. So let's go ahead and mark down a third 19. That right there has got to be the code. So right there is a 19-minute move up, and then it goes down. So 19 is definitely the code, and that would be the equivalent of 49. And do we have a 49 on here? No, we do not. So what it looks to be doing to me today is it looks to be going with the first code here and here, but not the second code. The first code is 04, the second code is 34. Not doing the 34. The first code is 19, the second code is 49. What does that represent? This represents 4 minutes after the 15-minute mark. Or, another way to say it, would be to say it represents 19 minutes after the hour, or it represents 19 minutes after the bottom of the hour. It's the same thing. Okay, so we've got 3 19s. Let's go ahead and keep going. Now, where was the bottoms down here before it made its move back up again? Let's move the chart a little bit. Where was the bottoms down here? The bottoms came at 22, 25, and 26. We also had a reversal at 24 right there, as you can see, and we do have a 24 marked down, and it did reverse off of that again. But the problem with that one was it wasn't really much of a reversal, but it did move off of it. But now we need to look for 25 and 26, and even 27 possibly. Do we have a 25, 26, or 27? We do have a 25. And 27 is very close to that 28, so I want to take a look. Where's 28 then on this? It's here. Did not reverse off of that. Reversed off of 29 and the 30 mark. But that right there is jumping out to me to be the code as well. So we're going to have to mark that down. 20. Okay, so let's continue on. We had that 14. Okay, 20. Okay, we're going to need 29 and 30. You see, one of the reasons why I'm paying attention to this 30 right here and the 29 is because the 29 is the same as the 59. And we don't have a 29 in here. We have two 28s, which is really close, but not close. You know, it sometimes can mean that. But if you're off just by 1 minute, you could be going the wrong way. So you need to have it exactly right. 29, we're going to mark that down. We're also going to mark down 30. And that's our first one. And the reason why is because we got two 0 zeros. 0 0 is the same as 3 0 using the secret. Okay? So we're going to mark that down since I already see two zeros. And that's a good move right there. Right at the 3 0 mark, it went this way, which meant it really was going to go this way. Okay, and we got a big reversal there too, so we definitely want to pay attention to that. Okay, here we have again the 3 4, all right, and then it goes into 3 5. I can already see right there that I've got the wrong code, and that 5 is obviously the code, and there is 5 right there. So you see, I was even fooled. It's 05. I can see that now. And we're going to go prove it right now. I'm going to go prove it. It's 35. Watch, 34 and then 35. Right? Let's go back to 7, 34, and 35. 7, 34, and then 35. Does that not look identical to the 834 and 835? It is. This is the code, 35. Now, I'm going to prove that by also going back to the, let's go back another hour, back to the 6:30. 6:30. Here's 34, and then here's 35. See, it didn't do much. But if you were thinking that it was 35, you'd have taken a short entry, and then it just kept on going. So you wouldn't have made it there if you'd have took the 34 or 35 move. I mean 35 move. Let's go back another hour to 30. See, there's 35 right there. So you can see it's 35. 35 is the code. Okay? And so is 5. So it's 35 and 5 is the code. I've got 3 5s. I don't have any 35s, so what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go see if I can go find 35s now. Let's go see. There is 135. Okay, so we got 1 right there. Okay, now let's go back each hour and go see. 35, and then here is 05. Okay, so it's 05. And I don't think I even wrote that one down. Or maybe I did. No, I think I did. I think I wrote that one down. 04 and 05. Maybe. I'm not sure. But there's one. And then this one is, you know, that was the one we looked at earlier. It didn't do anything. And then let's go to 705. There's 05. That's your signal right before it made its move. So there's 2. That's 2 05s. And then 35 is right here. Okay, that's another 35. Okay. 35 right here before it made its move down. You can see that. 35 was the signal. Now let's keep going to 805. 805 is right here. That's your signal before it went down. So that's another 05. That's 3 05s I've got. And let's go to 35. 35 is right here. Okay, we need to mark down another 35. Okay. Okay, so 35, and let's go to 905. 905 is here. You can see it didn't make much of a move, but what it would have looked like to me was a long entry, and then as soon as it went down, I would have known it wasn't a long entry. So I probably would have let that one go by. So 9, let's keep going. 9, let's go to 935. There's 34, and here's the 35 again. Now, do you remember from earlier what I just showed you? If you do not, then go back into the video, just a couple of minutes, go back into the video, and you will see the exact same thing. You will see that it came down into 3-4, and then made its final move into 3-5 before it made its move. And it was, both of them were going up, just like that. In other words, this exact chart right here is what it looks like previous. Go back into the video, you'll see. So there's your 3-5 move again. I need to write that down. That makes 4 of them. Okay. And let's go to 05 again, which is 05 is right here. You can see that it did move down into 05, and then it moved up. You can see what it's doing there. Okay? You could have at least taken the break right here once it broke and made higher than that. If you didn't know this was a short or if this was a long, you can just take the break and then you could have rode it up to here. So you can see that 05 is the signal again. So let's go ahead and mark down 05. Remember, 05 and 35 are the same thing. Exact same thing. I'll teach you that later. Okay, 05, and then it goes up into 10 and 11, and then 12 gives its final move. Now, a lot of times this 10 will be the code. This 10 is the same as 40. And earlier I was showing you a 40, and now I'm showing you a 10. It's the same code. Okay? And although this one is making a big move off of it. So this 10 we need to pay attention to. Let's go ahead and mark this 10 down. A lot of times you will see that this is the code, this 10 and the 40. A lot of times. Happens all the time. Matter of fact, I'd say most of the time it is. Okay, so, and where does it go down into? We also have a 12 right there, so we have to mark that down, because we've already got a 12, you see. We have a 42, we should have a 12, yeah, we have a 12, it's right there. Okay. Now this one down here goes into 18. Do we have an 18? No, we do not. Let's go ahead and mark it down. But we do have a 19. So let's see, where is 19 at? 19 is here, and it does reverse off of that, but it doesn't really make a big reversal. It just goes up into here and then comes down, not very much. So it really didn't do very much right there, so we're not going to mark that one down. I'm going to keep identifying the other codes, which is here. It's a 35 right there, and it made its move up into 35. If you didn't know which way it was going to go, you could have taken the breakdown here once it broke. If you didn't know if this was a long entry or if this was a short entry. One of the reasons why you would have thought it was a short entry is because it's making a top at 3.0, and then making a top at 3.4, and then making a top at 3.5, indicating that the 3.5 is the final signal. And since it didn't break and go higher, you know it's going to go down. But I'll explain that to you later. Once you learn the code and how it works, you'll see how you can take advantage of it like that. So we have to mark down another 3.5 right here. So let's mark that down. Okay. Now, let's keep going. Okay. 3.5. Just looking at the code over here real quick. And then let's go target into our target area, which is 0.5. You can see at 0.5 it didn't really do anything. It gave a... That oftentimes will look like a short signal right there and then go down. So once it broke, you could have bought, and you know it did go up a little bit. If you hadn't have broken even when it came back down here, because it didn't go up high enough, it still would have worked for you. But you know, it won't always do that. So normally, what you want to do is once it goes, it just keeps going. But it did come back down on this one. But watch this. Watch this. Let's say that you were in, right? And let's say that. First of all, let's say you thought that was a short and didn't go down. Once it broke below that, you could have shorted. But it didn't do it, so you never shorted. But then it went and it broke above that. So you think, well, that must be the entry then at 0.5. So you buy right here as soon as it breaks. Or here as soon as it breaks, right? And then it comes back down a little bit, and then it goes back up, and now you're ahead. And then it comes back down, right? But you're still in because you haven't put a break-even stop on it, let's say. It's up to you whether you're going to do that or not. Depends how far ahead you want to get. Down here, it comes into 1.2. Well, you've already established that the code is 1.2. So we know that 1.2 is it, and we know that it's most likely going to go back up at that point. In other words, therefore, now you're holding it because you think that it's going to go. And sure enough, it ends up being the right code. It does come down into 16, 17, which we could have been watching. And do we have one of those? No, we do not. So we would have basically just ignored that. And then it goes up into a 20, doesn't reverse much. And 25, again, it doesn't reverse much off of that. But the signal is at 3.0. So we got to mark down another 30 right there. And it moved really big off the 30, just like it moved big off of the 00 before. Okay, and then here is 35 and 36. You wouldn't have known whether this was the buy entry or this was the short entry. You wouldn't have known, so you could have bought the break. And knowing that this must be the, if it broke this one from here, then obviously it's the buy entry because it's going to go up. Or vice versa, if it would have broke down here, it would have been the short. This would be the short entry because it's going to go down, working off of this code 35. So 35 is right here, your entry. So that's another 35. Okay, so then it goes up after that and goes up into 37, makes a high into 39. Do we have a 39? No, we do not. So we're not even going to pay it. We could mark it down, but we don't need to. We don't need to because it's just unless we were to see it again, then we could, but we don't need to right now. 44, 47. What is the temp? It would be 49. 49 is right here. It did make a move right there and then broke down once it broke below that. So I could write that down if I wanted to. I guess I'll go ahead and do it. See, because 49 is the same as 19. Okay, and then we have, right before it makes its move down, it goes up into 52. Do we have a 52? We do have a 52. Let's mark it down. Okay, keep going. We have a 54 down here. Let's go ahead and 54, and then we have a 55. So let's take a look. Do we have any 54s or 55s? We do have a 54 right there. 54? Do we have any 55s? No. We have 25, but not a 55. Okay. 54, and then here's your 12. Here's a 59 right here. It's a buy signal before it goes up. Could have at least taken the break. Do we have a 59? We do. Mark that down. Okay, and then we've got up here into our normal signal, which is a 05 right here, and we have a slight higher into 06 and 07. Do we have an 06 or 07? We do have an 06. Let's just mark it down. We also have an 07. Let's mark that down as well. Okay, but the 05 still worked. For instance, if you were to have, well, it depends on how you played it. But if you would have bought, then it would have gone the wrong way. But see, this is what I'm going to have to teach you about the code. Is once you know what the codes are, you'll be able to watch what it's doing and be able to know which way it's going to go. But before you can do that, though, you have to not only learn the code, but you have to establish the code. And what I'm teaching you right now is establishing the code. And through this process, you're going to learn what the code is. So let's say 07. Okay, we already wrote that down. And then we have ones down here at 08 and 09. It didn't do much. Do we have an 08 or 09? No. Okay, so we're not even going to worry about that. Wait a second. We do have one 08. And let's just write down 09 just in case. 90% sure it's not going to be the code, but just in case. 09, and then here is 12. Here's 13 and 14. Okay. Don't have any of the. We do have one of those. We have a 14. Okay, no 13. We're just going to mark down the 14. 14's right here, and then it makes its move. And then we have a 16 and a 17. Do we have any 16s or 17s? Nope. Let me mark them down. 16, 17. See, if I see another one, I can go back and check to see if they're there or not. 16, 17, and then we have a 20. Let's keep on going. 24, and then a 28, and then the 30 again. You see, we can see there right now that the code is now working off of the 30 mark in a big way, going in a big direction. It's using that. You see what I'm saying? Okay, we need to mark that down. The 30 mark right there, plus the 00 mark. The 00 and the 30 mark is where it's moving off of to make its big move. Okay? You can go back into this video and go see that for yourself. You'll see that on these other codes over here, it's making big moves off the 30 and 00 marks. I'll show it to you again. Okay, there's 30. Now here is 35. Okay, 35. It comes down into 35, indicating from the bar here, or from the line here, that it's a buy entry. And sure enough, this one is a buy entry. And it comes down again to 3.6, and then it breaks. So you would have wanted to go long onto this. But then it comes back down, and it goes back down into 4.2. Do we have a 4.2? Yes, we do. And 4.2 is the same thing as 12. Okay? Now, if you go back into this video again, you will see that it did the same exact thing before. It went down into 00 mark, and then it gave a signal into the 05 mark, and then it gave the final signal into the 4.2 mark. Okay? Now I have a lot to teach you about this, and it's not as hard as what you think it is, so just bear with me and start to absorb and learn. This is the code, this is the code, and this is the code. What this is a bottom of the hour reversal. This is a very close reversal at 5 minutes later. So sometimes these codes here will go the same direction like this one's doing. Sometimes they'll go in opposite directions. So sometimes it'll go down into 3.0, up into 3.5, and then come back down. Sometimes it'll go down into 3.0, go up, and then come back down into 3.5, and then go up, and then come back down into a different code. See, this code and this code is the same code. It's just slightly different times. And whenever you see that, it's going to keep doing that. It's going to keep working off of this. So it's going to go down. Let's say it goes up into 3.0 and then down into 3.5 and then up again. Or up into 3.0, comes back down into 3.5, or comes back down and then goes back up again into 3.5 and then back down again. So it'll do any combinations of those going in directions. Sometimes the same direction, sometimes opposite direction. But they're the same code. This code is a different code. And it works in the second part of the hour. This code works in the first part of the hour. So it works within the first 9 minutes. Okay? This code is always going to change, but it's going to come within the first 9 minutes. It's going to come within the 00 to 09 or 30 to 39, but same code. This code is different. This code is going to come between 4.2 and 4.9 or 12 and 1.9. 12 and 1.9 or 4.2 and 4.9. Same thing. Okay? So what we're saying here now is we're saying that all the codes are working together. They're all saying go long. Okay? And once you saw this other one, you'd know that that was the final signal to go long. And so we need to mark down that 4-2, which I think we did. Yes, we did. Okay, 4-2. Let's keep on going. We do have a nice little reversal there. We have a go signal there at 4-9. Do we have a 4-9? Yes, we do. See, 4-9 is the same as 19. So let's put that down. 4-9. We have a go signal right there. You see? At 4-9, we have a go signal to buy. And then it goes. And then at 5-5, we have a short signal. And this one did come down. This 5-5 did come down. So we want to mark that down, 5-5, because 5-5 is the same as 2-5. But we also have a 5-4. So let's go take a look at 5-4. Could that have been the signal? No, it could not. Okay, and then we have a 5-6 as well. Just to make sure we don't have a 5-6. We do not. It's usually never ever 5-6. And then it comes back down into 0-0 again. Okay, see that? Let's go ahead and mark it. Let's go ahead and change it. Right here at 0-0, it comes down and makes a low. Right there. Okay. So, and what's this one over here? This one is 03. So, okay, now watch this. It's the same thing as before. It's the same exact thing. So we need to mark that down. 0-0 right there. 0-0. Okay. And then the other one is 05. And here's 05. So the 0-0 is giving a long entry to go long, a reversal right there. At that time, it moved down, indicating that it was going to move up. Understand? At the right code time, it goes down, indicating it's going to go the opposite direction. Okay? Now, the next one is 05. Same thing. It didn't do very much, but then it went down at that particular time, and then afterwards started going up. You could have taken this break. Indicating a long entry. If you already were in here, took the break here, you would have just continued to hold it once you saw the code saying that it was going to continue to go long. So we need to mark down another 05. And 05 is the same as 35. Okay, let's continue on. Now here is 3-0. See, we got a 0-0 here, and then we've got a 3-0 here. They're the same exact thing. 0-0 and 3-0 are the same thing. So let's mark down that 3-0. Okay? Starting to catch on. It gets even better. Now, here is 35. So you got see, watch this. It came down into 0-0 and then gave a long entry into 05. Well, here's just the exact opposite. It went up into 3-0 and then gave a short entry into 3-5. See that? Same code. So let's mark that down. We marked down 3-0. Now let's mark down 3-5. There's another 3-5. Okay? 3-5 right there, and then it comes down, makes a nice little move down into 3-8, and it starts to go sideways a bit after that. You can see the volume is drying up now. Okay, so it's you know too close to the end of the day here now, so we're not going to go any further. So what do we have? What do we establish the code as being? We established that the code is 3-5, 05, same thing. 3-0 and 0-0, same thing. 12 and 42, same thing. And then we have a 19 and 49, same thing. Now what we would want to do is go back into the chart and go confirm each one of these and look for each one of these times in the chart. And that way we'll 100% confirm the code and probably come up with more times once we take a better look at it. Okay? You are going to need to do this every day until you get good. Even I still do this, but most of the time I can just see it. But if I'm in any doubt at all, I'll go ahead and do this myself so that I can just see on paper what it looks like. Because it becomes very obvious once you do it on paper. Would you have ever noticed if you had not done it on paper with yourself? Would you have ever noticed? No, you would not. Because you would not have even thought that there was such a thing as this. You would not have known. But it's like this every day. Every single day, 24 hours a day. All you need to do is find the code before the market is going to even open. Alright? So here is where the market opens at 6 a.m. my time. But you can go back a few hours. Alright? Like way back here. And start tracking the code. Or not even start tracking it. Let's say you wake up an hour before the market opens. And you want to know what the code is. You just go back in time. Like say 3, 4, 5 hours. And start seeing what the code is. And you will find it's the exact same code most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. Here's 05, starts coming down. Here's 19, starts going up. 19 starts going up. Here's 05. It's 06, 07 starts going down. If you just have to analyze it, okay, and you'll see that most of the time it's the same code. But sometimes it will be a different code in this market before, and then changes to a different code at the beginning of the USA session. It does do that sometimes, so watch out. Keep a heads up for that. Because a lot of times what's happening is, I'm going to teach you about this, but a lot of times what's happening is that the code prior to this is actually in trend mode. It's not in a reversal mode, it's in trend mode. And you'd have to be able to establish that and know that it's in trend mode. I'll teach you how to read trend mode. You absolutely have to know how to do that. Anyway, what you can also do is you can come into here and just watch it for a couple hours and mark the codes down, and then once you see what it is, then go ahead and start taking your trading. It's very easy to do that. Takes you a couple hours to establish it. Boom. You don't even need to wake up. You can just wake up 2 hours late, establish what the code is, and then come out and start trading. No problem at all. Do this every day. It's a piece of cake once you learn how to do this. See 05 and it starts going up. Once you learn how to do this, it's a piece of cake. Okay, now this is the conclusion of this first video. It's an hour long here. I'm going to stop it. And this has taught you how to establish the code every day. The next video, I'm going to come back and I'm going to teach you what the code is so that you can much better understand it and it'll make logical sense to you. So I'll be back in the next video.